Hey everyone, before I start this video, I want to give a huge shout out to Ben for inspiring me to talk about this topic. Everyone say thanks Ben in the comments below to award him for his good deed. And if you have an idea for a skit or video essay I should make, please comment it below because I take every idea into consideration. Now let's get on with the video. An oversaturation of a game accessory, connecting to your game using its NFC. You gotta buy a toy if you're planning on jumping in. I bought Buzz Lightyear, now I'm playing Sim. When things get popular, the corporations get shifty. Your games are $20, now they're anything but thrifty. Every single figure's $10 to $25. It makes for a tough to sell gaming price model. So let me start from the moment inspiration struck 33 years back before this miracle erupts. Switch up the beat cause I'm about to go in. The inspiration generation's about to begin. Now before we got our toys with that near field communication, we got a couple games and toys inspiring the nation. A show in 1987 with a couple troopers, they called it Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. This show is one of the first uses of integrating real life toys into a video game. It was a science fiction and action series which merged live action shots with animation. The show sold a toy spaceship that you could use to interact with the show at the end of every episode. It worked like one of those light guns, and during certain parts of the Saturday morning program you could fire at the screen and score points using the light sensor on the front. And if your ship got hit too many times, the cockpit would automatically eject. Yo, 1996, the movie Independence Day sold an action figure line with floppy disks to play. 11 in total, play them on your PC. Each one with a different game about the movie. 1999, Zowie's games were the best. They released Ellie's Enchanted Garden and Red Beach Pirate Quest. You connect the playset to your printer, pop in the CD. You're a pirate, you're a gardener on your computer screen. None of these more popular than in 2005, when a game and a fluffy animal would finally collide. Webkinz was the king of putting toys into games. Every kid at a shelf with the pets that they claim. Where would we be if we didn't play Wheel of WoW? Pizza Palace, Pull-Up Plunge, Bonanza, or Cash Cow. These memories will stay with us and inspire generations of newer games that are to come and played throughout the nation. Webkinz seems like the last big craze using toys to access gameplay before what we call toys to life became as big as it is today. You never really know what sparks a decade-long craze like Webkinz to become as popular as it was, but when you look at how huge the Webkinz phenomenon was, it's hard to believe that any of these games I talk about in the next few minutes would exist if Webkinz didn't. 2007 games were flying off the shelves. I can't keep up with the ones that wouldn't sell. I'ma talk about the few that crashed and burned into flames, starting with the very first Toys to Life game. UB Funkies was a toy that launched when I was 8. First you use an FC to connect to the game. It was great, you had a bunch of little figures which connected to the base. They were characters of different species used inside the game.
Famps, you got a bunch of personalities. Throw one on the dock and you've got games and paint in different themes. It's just an expensive app for desktop customization. It failed to gain the interest of the gaming population.
UB Funkies and Famps were both discontinued in 2010 and 2011 respectively. UB Funkies was definitely the more successful of the two. It had multiple updates, it was way more expansive, and it was the first of its kind. Famps, on the other hand, never really took off and didn't really have much to offer besides that gimmick of connecting your toy to the computer. For the time, I think it was too soon for Toys to Life to become popular among the kids it was aimed after, and I don't think people understood the concept very well, so both toys didn't last very long. But that doesn't really mean these toys didn't have an impact, because with the death of them came a new start for Toys to Life. 2011 was the year that built the wave. UB Funkies may have started it but never sparked the craze. A little game called Skylanders approached and it achieved the sales of $1 billion in the first year it released, using Spyro to kick off the series with 32 toys. Every year they made another game and sales would just explode. 2 years later, 3 more games would show up and be tested. Against the fans of games like these, could Skylanders be bested? Nintendo took the shot with Pokemon Rumble U, a game that used the figures with the gamepad for Wii U. You scanned the figures in and fought against them in the game. Well, the game was not successful and reviewers called it lame. Disney Infinity, don't take it literally. They lasted 3 years so they shut it down timidly, but still made $1 billion. Classic Disney. Started with Pixar, moved on to Marvel, ended with Star Wars. 2016 is when they decided to not to get farther.
And who could forget the best one in the world?
2014, things were looking up for the Toys to Life genre primarily because of the success that Skylanders and Disney Infinity found. At the time, Skylanders just had their third release and were at the peak of their popularity, and although they were to be discontinued, Disney Infinity was having major success with the first release of their game. Many games were yet to be made while Toys to Life was at the top of the world.
It's 2014 and our last game failed, but the trend is still going, so we just can't bail. Our name is Nintendo and we just can't leave though, so our new Toys to Life game is something called Amiibo.
2014, Super Smash came with something new, a couple figurines that go inside your Wii U. Mario, Pikachu, Villager, and Peach on shelves everywhere, $12.99 each, but they aren't just useful in that one single game. There are multiple titles where you can use them again. You barely get any content, but I guess that is cool to have a little figurine of King K. Rool. Wii U, 3DS, and now the Switch, using NFC for us to get that fix. It's unique that it spans across games and consoles and ain't tied down to a game like my mouth and my tonsils. We have a couple smaller titles that'll speed on by, like with Disney Playmation, other series they tried. It was barely a part of the Toys to Life craze, using Longo Ridge Connection for a role-playing game. Hero Plug and Play by Jack Specific. Concept was a blur, they gotta be specific. I guess it was a Toys to Life game with a console, an outdated plug and play game. It looked awful. Sick Bricks was a Lego type Toys to Life game based on a television show of the same name. Playmation, Hero Plug and Play, and this has to share that they all discontinued in less than a year. But Lego got a chance to make a game of their own, to make a Toys to Life Lego game that didn't blow. They called it Lego Dimensions. It did alright, using Batman, Doctor Who, and Wild Style to fight. At the end of 2015, Toys to Life continued to be a hit. The toys were filling up the shelves at every gaming and department store, and games like Skylanders, Disney Infinity, and Lego Dimensions were some of the biggest holiday sellers every December. Even with this great success, is there a possibility that the huge amount of Toys to Life games could just be a little bit too much for the consumer? Yes, there is a possibility.
We are the Toys to Life Police, and you're under arrest for oversaturation. The punishment? Total annihilation. I guess you know what it means when it's 2016 and the Toys to Life games are oversaturating. It's a scary sight seeing all the games on the shelf that were once loved now seem to go down the well. Shut down Disney Infinity, Lego Dimensions 2, Skylanders seek to break. Will the craze take a snooze? Well, I got a few games before we wrap it all up that tried to fix it all before the genre erupts. Kickstarter crowdfund 2016 for a game using cards, toys along with your screen. It was free to play, but you bought the toys with it. Lightseekers Awakening wasn't much of a hit. Ubisoft took the chance making a game with controller mounted chips with pilots to play. You can mix match, make stacks using the guns. Starlight flopped up the pictures, didn't raise any funds.
Our story into current day, where's the genre now? 10 plus different games flying up to the clouds. There's a few filling shelves, but they're not really seen. It's an option for the future gaming scene. Skylanders hasn't been around for almost 4 years. Oversaturation proves again that it's willing to kill all the kings that once sat high and mighty on the throne, disintegrating to dust. All that's left is the bones. I think the best way we can look at the future of Toys to Life games is through Nintendo. When they tried to use toys as the centerpiece for their game, it failed. Pokemon Rumble U and Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival are huge examples of that. But when they decided to use Amiibo as an accessory, allowing for some extra content across many different games and not promising Amiibo as the central part of a game, they found a lot more success. Toys to Life might not be a central part of the gaming industry anytime soon, but I think when used correctly, it can be a very special part of the gaming experience. This week's Gamer of the Week is you, Ben, for somehow inspiring me to spend 2 weeks on a musical about toys. Thanks. I'm talking Toys to Life, hit my line. Talk to me, tell me you played one time. Skylanders with a side of fries. Played it, I hated it, it's Lego time. I'm a clown, Hong Kong. This ain't your petty wiser than me. Ain't paying cash, not paying a fee. Pay cash money for Princess Peach, yeet.